Hello everyone, I'm Filter, your companion for the stories here on Filter Los Angeles. Today, Filter invites you to join us for a story titled, The Grief of Those Left Behind, a moving account of the Green Bay 58 boat capsize. How long, July 19, 2025, I want to die with my child. And my grandchild too. Just yesterday, she called out, "Grandma, I'm bringing back cake." Now both lie there, cold and lifeless. The hoarse cries of Mrs. Lean echoed through the incense-laden air at Baiche Hospital's funeral home. Her thin, dusty blue garment trembled in the strong sea breeze blowing through the window. Before her, two coffins lay side by side. One large. One small. One for her son. One for her grandchild. And all that remained were memories. One, a peaceful morning before the storm on the morning of July 19, 2025, Halong Bay was as tranquil as ever. Sunlight gently spread over the water, and tourist boats bustled, picking up passengers. At Tuan Chau Port, the Green Bay 58, a 24-meter wooden tourist boat, was preparing for a short trip to explore Dao Go Cave. There were 49 people on board. 46 passengers and 3 crew members. They were families from Hanoi, Quang Ninh, and Bac Ninh, parents bringing their children to escape the heat, grandparents taking their grandchildren on vacation, groups of friends looking for a change of scenery. Among them was Mrs. Nguyen T. Lean's family, 64 years old, traveling with her son, Mr. Pham Van Hoa, 36, and her grandchild, little Pham Du Lin, 3. There was also a group of 15 relatives of Mr. Dang Antoine, who had booked a summer tour together. They brought both elderly people and small children. No one knew this would be their last trip. 2. The storm rises from the sea around 1:15 p.m., as the boat paused near Dao Go Cave, the sky suddenly darkened. Black clouds rolled in from the sea. The wind gusted, lightning flashed. Rain poured down in torrents. Passengers who had been standing, taking photos, and laughing, ran in panic into the boat's cabin. Mr. Vuan Tu, a crew member, recounted, "I had just climbed into the technical compartment when I heard a very loud thud. In less than 5 seconds, the entire boat tilted sharply and then capsized. Water rushed in, passengers screamed, I was slammed around, and everything went black." Experienced sailors know that storms in Halong can appear suddenly and be incredibly dangerous. But to many tourists, the sea was just a beautiful sight. No one was prepared for a disaster. 3. The tragedy strikes in an instant. The boat capsized completely. 49 people fell into the sea amid the storm and heavy rain. Screams echoed in the chaos. Some managed to grab life jackets, others were trapped below deck. Mr. Dang Antoine, a survivor, was still in shock. Our group had 15 people. My nephew and I were lucky to escape, but the rest, all of them, they're gone. No one had time to do anything. The boat flipped over like the sky was falling. In another corner, a 10-year-old boy was fitted with a life jacket by his father and pushed out of the boat before his father was swept away by the water. The boy was one of 3 child survivors, rescued thanks to air pockets trapped within the capsized hull. 4. The desperate rescue. Immediately upon receiving the news, Quang Ninh Provincial Rescue Forces mobilized nearly 300 people, 27 boats, and 2 motorboats. They dove at night. They searched the seabed. They scoured from the tidal flats to every part of the boat's hull. By dawn on July 20th, 45 people had been found, 10 survivors, including 3 children, 35 bodies recovered. 4 people still missing. Each body was brought back by small boat. On the dock, relatives huddled over flashlights amid the pungent smell of seawater. One mother knelt before the rescue team, "Please find my child, she's not even 4 years old." 5. Coffins lined up in the funeral home on the morning of July 20th, at Baiche Hospital's funeral home. A long line of ambulances carrying victims' bodies arrived. Inside the funeral home, the smell of incense smoke, the calling of names, and the hoarse sobs made anyone entering shed tears. Mrs. Nguyen Thi Lien, who lost her son and granddaughter, cried out, "My grandchild just said, 'Grandma, tomorrow we're taking the boat, okay?' Her mother left when she was little, I raised her from infancy. Now both of them lie there, cold and lifeless. Why did God take everything from me?" Mr. Tuan, the only survivor from his group of 15 relatives, gritted his teeth as he identified each body. When he reached the youngest girl, he burst into tears, hugging the child's small coffin to his chest, wailing, "I'm sorry, I couldn't save you." 6. Untold stories in the darkness beneath the boat's hull. 14-year-old Nguyen Hai Dang, trapped for 4 hours, recounted. "I squeezed into a corner with an air pocket. I heard knocking and saw light from outside. When they broke the door open, I crawled little by little towards the rescuer's hand." Ms. Nguyen Thi Lien, a survivor, said, "We rescued a few people. When we found the body of a child floating, I tied a rope to her wrist, anchored it to a pole, so she wouldn't drift away. That night, I couldn't close my eyes." 7. Salvaging the hull, the Last Hope revived around 3 a.m. on July 20th, the Green Bay 58 boat was salvaged, lying on its side at the Halong shipyard anchorage. Rescue forces used flashlights in the dark, flycams, diving cameras, and basket boats to sweep every square meter around the vessel. The 4 missing people were gradually found on July 21st. A 6-year-old girl, tightly wrapped in a life jacket, was discovered in the storage compartment. In her hand, she still clutched a small doll, faded by the seawater. 8. Numbers that weep. 49 people on board, including 46 passengers, mainly from Hanoi, Bac Ninh, 3 crew members deceased, 35 people rescued, 10 people missing, later found 4 people among the deceased, at least 8 children 9. Responsibility and support. Quang Ninh Province is providing support, 25 million VND, approximately $980 per deceased person, 5 to 8 million VND, approximately $195 to $315 USD. Per injured person. Hotels in Halong are offering free accommodation and meals for relatives. The government has established an investigation team to determine the cause. The company operating the Green Bay boat has denied responsibility, stating the boat was operated by another partner. Meanwhile, the public is asking questions. Why was the boat allowed to set sail when there were strong storm warnings? Why weren't there enough life jackets? Why was there no emergency communication equipment? 10. Homes missing. Loved ones. In the old quarter of Hanoi, a small house on Tran Not Duet Street flies a mourning flag. A husband lost his wife and daughter. Every afternoon, he still sits on his porch, his eyes gazing distantly towards West Lake. My little girl was just in 1st grade. She loved the sea so much. She never learned to swim. In Yen Phong, Bac Ninh, a small, crowded alley is silent, devoid of laughter. A family of 6 went on vacation, and now only the father remains. He says nothing. He simply rehangs a family photo taken before their departure, placing it on the altar. 11. Curtain call. The lingering pain. On the afternoon of July 21st, as the sun cast a golden glow over Halong's waters, people gathered at the sea to light candles. Without being told, everyone brought incense and photos of the victims. Each candle flickered, and the waves seemed to ripple with sorrow. A small child placed a paper boat on the water. This is the Green Bay boat. I'm letting it go for the aunts and uncles to go to heaven. 12. And then. The scar from that storm still remains in every home, every doorway, every altar picture. Those ordinary people, now just names on a list of victims killed in the boat capsize. And those left behind, forever carrying an empty space in their hearts. A broken promise. An unfinished embrace. A final vacation from which there was no return. The grief of those left behind is not an end. It is a warning bell, ringing from the depths of Halong Bay.